Welcome to Illo Talk. I am Cory Kerr, and I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. It's a bit much, this whole thing. But I thought it's late at night, and I'm not sleeping, and I should talk to the internet about what I'm thinking, I guess. That's always a good idea, right? Oh, boy. All right. So, anyway, I drew some stuff. You can watch that. Just kind of thinking, I'm just kind of going through some different things. I'm going to get back into podcasting, which is something that I've done in the past. That is a super shaky video. That's legit shaky. Sorry about that. Ignore that. I think it gets less shaky. I'm going to get back into podcasting, which is something that I've attempted to do in the past, and I started it with some friends, and it was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. But I don't know, schedules didn't line up. They weren't as into it as I was, and whatnot. And then I've been thinking, like, I went to this vid summit recently, and I was thinking about some of that stuff. I was watching some videos, Roberto Blake, Scott Circland. And I got thinking about different things. I wonder sometimes why I do all the things that I do. For example, what am I doing on YouTube? I'm not trying to get famous, though at the same time I wouldn't actually mind if I built an audience or introduced people into the work that I'm doing, the art that I'm doing, and that type of thing. But I mean, if I was trying to get famous, I would do completely different videos. I have some videos that are that do really well. I mean, not like millions, but like tens of thousands of views. Not a ton of them, but a couple of them, a few of them. And then I've got other videos that I think are actually pretty good and pretty interesting and engaging content. And like almost no one watches. The cool part is the people that do watch are actually pretty awesome, pretty engaged people that comment and whatnot, and that's been like a huge thing. It's been really interesting to kind of meet people through this and all that. But YouTube is just a weird place. For example, if I wanted to build a huge audience on YouTube and I didn't care what the content was, I would do tutorial videos. When I put tutorial videos out for Illustrator, Photoshop, After Effects, those do way better than this type of content, where it's just me talking to the camera and sometimes drawing stuff in the background. But the problem is that I don't want to do that. I am actually going to do some of that whenever it strikes my fancy, and I'm like, hey, yeah, there's a new thing that I don't think I've adequately done on my channel where I could explain that really well, or I'll binge make 20 videos about a piece of software or something. I'm still going to do that, and those are going to continue to do the numbers that they do or whatever, but that's not what I want to do on here, which begs the question, what is it that I actually want to do on here? And I don't really know. And I think that's one of the problems with the idea of using YouTube as an audience generation thing. Using YouTube as something where you are trying to attract people. I'm not terribly interested in the game. I don't want to play it, and yet at the same time I like meeting new people, and I like getting my work out there, and so it's this weird challenge. In my head, I always think, how can I make this content better? How can I make this more interesting? How can I make this more engaging? How can I get a longer watch rate? And those type of things. Not necessarily because I want any particular thing to happen on YouTube, but because I just tend to try to tweak things to make them better. That's just something that's kind of in my personality to do. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to like discuss some of the options. Something I really enjoy doing is as I read things and listen to audiobooks and talk to other people and discuss things, it starts to formulate ways in my mind that some of those things could be applicable to illustration and cartooning and animation and living a creative life and all that. And I think it's all interconnected. And I really enjoy talking about those things because, and the reason that I do this is not because I think that I'm an expert or not that I think that I, have any unique perspective on anything in particular, but because I actually process things out loud. And so if I'm trying to work through something, I'll go on kind of a big Twitter rant, or I will talk it through. And in explaining how I feel about something, it solidifies how I feel or challenges how I thought I felt. And so that's one thing that I really enjoy doing on this channel. And it doesn't get a lot of action, and it's I don't know how you market that, and I don't even know if I want to market that. Like, it's by the time I draw something and then cut a video together and then edit and put it out, then all the SEO, SEM tags and all that jazz where you've got to do the research. I'm just tired by that point, and I don't care. And I think that's a major reason why my videos are kind of underperforming for what's going on is I'm not working the algorithm. I'm not doing the little tricks and whatever, I've always liked to make good thumbnails, and I'll spend a minute or two thinking about what the title should be, just because I find some of those kind of entertaining and funny to do. But beyond that, I'm aware of a lot more that I could be doing, but something's got to give, And in my life, I've got a full-time job. I've got 2 kids. I'm married. I'm trying to produce a body of work in children's books and comics and illustration and art products and things. And something has to give at some point in time. You have to say, this is something that I've got to sacrifice because there's an opportunity cost. I've only got so much room on my plate or on my drawing table or whatever, and if I add something, kind of pushes something off the edge. And right now, that's sleep, which is just because I've just been thinking so much about stuff. Anyway, so with that, there's other types of content that I really like doing. I really like doing speed videos of me drawing. I think I would like talking about the decisions that I'm making in my art, why I'm putting certain lines in certain places and doing different things, because I enjoy watching those type of videos. But for some reason, I find it really hard to talk about what it is that I am doing while I'm doing it. I end up just kind of spectating my own stuff as if I wasn't there or whatever. And so those videos tend to be pretty rambly and pretty boring. And then there's also stuff like this where it's kind of just stream of consciousness stuff where I don't script it out, and it's long awkward pauses and lots of ums, and it doesn't really go anywhere. And if I don't have a ton to say about the subject, it kind of turns out like it is turning out right now. But if I do have a lot to say about the subject, sometimes I think those can be the best and most interesting videos, is kind of the freeform stuff. But when it comes down to the scripted stuff, I did one the other day where I liked I went on a big Twitter rant, and then I just took that and I just read it on a video, and I liked what I said, but the way that I said it was weird, and I wasn't looking at the camera, and it just was kind of odd. One of my friends actually called me up and said, hey, I liked what you said, but it was kind of strange. It's kind of strange just watching it because like you weren't making eye contact and you were like reading it and going really fast and anyway, just kind of weird, I guess. So yeah, I don't know exactly. Then I had the thought, and this also happened along those same lines with some of the people that I'm collaborating with, like Joshua Kimball and Scott Cirkland and other people, that I want to get back into podcasting. And the cool thing about it is that I've got a Squarespace website, and I was with Lisbon before, and Lisbon is like a hosting service or whatever, and it's like I can't remember, $15 a month or less. It might even be less. It's not a ton, but like I was getting like I put up a couple episodes, and you have to kind of like pay for space and all that, and it just like I wasn't producing enough podcasting several years ago, podcasting content to like make it worth it. And so I kind of let that service go, and then I was like, I don't want to like pay to do it. Anyway, long story short, I found out that Squarespace will allow you to turn a blog into a podcast, and that means that it wouldn't add any extra cost to my budget, and that I could like just start podcasting again. So then I've actually been in the last couple of days working on different ways to get this out there, and I've got a few hundred videos that I think could be potential interest, and the 48-hour art check with Josh. We changed the format of the show, and since we changed the format of the show, like there's some pretty good like chunks of content that are just topics of us talking about stuff in between the art check. And so I just keep thinking that there's some possibilities there. So anyway, but then I've got to consider like I'm actually adding something else, and something's got to give at some point. And so I don't know. I just don't know what I want to do. But I'm really excited. I do get these little moments of inspiration or inclination towards doing something, and if it sticks around for a while, every time I act on that, it goes really well. Not necessarily from like a fortune and fame situation, but from like a skill set or occupation, and it's been this slow rolling set of dominoes in my life where I started with video, and then got into photography, and then got into design, and then got into themed environments, and then got into writing, and then got into illustration, and that then got into doing live streaming video and producing content for YouTube, and now it seems to be doing live streaming seems to be like I'm really interested in doing that more frequently, but I'm not good at like sitting down and doing like an editorial calendar, so that I like have topics and it's more ad hoc. So I want to do more live streaming, and I want to do more podcasting, and I think that they go kind of hand in hand. Anyway, kind of rambly, but there's some stuff that I drew for Inktober in the background. I'll just let that go. Where's that? Anyway, so yeah, I don't know, just some thoughts. I don't even know where I'm going with this, and there's no real way to wrap this up other than new stuff is coming. I think it's going to be really good, and I think it'll help the channel. I think it'll get some people thinking about some stuff. It'll get me thinking about some stuff, and it's only got to help. and whatever's going to give, I don't know what that is, but whatever it is going to be one of the lesser things, one of the things that's not as important, because by the nature of it, whatever I don't get to is something that I don't find as important as the things that I'm doing. So I don't know what that is yet, or if it'll be anything. Maybe I've got more time and I'm just not realizing it. I could be more efficient. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't really have a call to action or question to ask anybody or whatever, but if you're interested in looking at my stuff, you can always get on. No, that's not that anymore. Good old live streaming. You can always go to corykerr.com, and I've got all kinds of stuff there. And I've started kind of listing some things. And so if you want to check out, like, before it goes live on iTunes, some of the podcasts that I'm experimenting with, you can go to the blog section there, go to the 48-hour art check section there, and you'll see, I can't remember what it is. Anyway, if you go to corykerr.com/48hr, you'll see, like, some of the formatting things that I'm doing to try to figure all this out. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I should just try to enlist some help and get some people that want to jump in and participate from, like, writing things or kind of formatting things, because I mean, a lot of it is stuff that, you know, if somebody had an interest in, you know, cutting up audio and things like that, it would be awesome. Because I mean, the more that I do with one piece of content, the more that content will do, but the less content that I can produce, just because it's all time consuming. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. So yeah, check out my stuff. I might delete this video. I don't know if I'm gonna leave this up. I'll leave it up for a few hours and see how I feel about it in the morning. But I'm gonna go to bed now. So yeah, good talking to you guys. We'll see you later.